Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this Pittsburgh Bureau of EMS swearing-in and award ceremony. My name is Kara Cruz, and I'm an Assistant Public Information Officer with the Pittsburgh Public Safety. Before we begin, will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce the speakers for today's ceremony, beginning with EMS Chief Ronald Romano.
Thank you, and thank you for emceeing for us today, filling in on late notice. I would like to welcome all the family and friends of the paramedics being sworn in today, and thank you for being here for them and supporting them in the work they do for the citizens of Pittsburgh. As you know, they're away from home for long hours and days at a time sometimes before they get a break. But thank you for supporting them and making the home life comfortable for them when they get back home. We are also promoting one EMT to paramedic. I want to congratulate him on his hard work by working full-time and attending the training classes to reach his goal this past year. Special thanks to Mayor Peduto, Public Safety Director Histrich, Medical Director Dr. Roth for your continued support in being with us today. I'd like to introduce my administrative staff, Deputy Chief Gilcrest, Assistant Chief Pinchuk, Division Chiefs Janczewski, and Everett, and Richland couldn't be with us. I want to thank our HR analysts for all the work they have to do to make a hiring possible. This starts months ahead of time before we ever get here. Thanks to the FAP Executive Board for being here today. And a special thanks to the EMS crews that are on the streets working at this time so that we could gather for this special occasion. Today, we're not only having a swearing-in ceremony for our new employees that have finished the probation period, we will also be honoring employees' actions that have been reviewed by the awards committee and have been determined to be notable for award recognition. And I welcome those employees and their families and friends here today.
Thank you, Chief. Next, we have Medical Director Dr. Ronald Roth.
Thank you. Welcome, friends, families, and my EMS colleagues. Today, we recognize our new paramedics and congratulate our award-winning crews. We've entered a great time of change for EMS in general, and this is really an exciting time to be a paramedic and be involved in EMS. 4 decades ago, the men and women of Pittsburgh EMS were pioneers in the new field of emergency medical services. We continue today being on the cutting edge of pre-hospital care. What will EMS look like in 10 to 20 years? It's really hard to tell. Maybe one of our new paramedics will be sworn in as chief. Hopefully so. You will always be the most important part of EMS because of your compassion and your goal to always do the right thing. Your friends and family support is part of our EMS system, and it's a very important part, and we're glad to have you here. I would also like to thank Mayor Peduto, Director Histrich, for supporting EMS over the past several years, and Chief Romano for his friendship over 30 years. Thank you all for choosing a career to help others. It's an incredible honor for me to be your medical director.
Thank you, Dr. Roth. Now I'd like to invite Pittsburgh Public Safety Director Wendell Hisrick to the dais.
Good afternoon. every time Dr. Roth talks, I feel older and older. He keeps mentioning pioneers, and I know that back, 40 years ago, we volunteered together at a suburban service, and then, of course, Chief Romano, he was a crew chief when I came on as a paramedic, and just keep feeling older and older. However, with that being said, as Dr. Roth mentioned and Chief Romano, the new faces are the future of EMS within the city of Pittsburgh, and I've been very fortunate over the last 4 years that we've had a very supportive mayor and council that has basically provided everything that we've asked for. Several weeks ago, we went to council and asked for approximately $3 million on new defibrillators and AEDs throughout the city. However, no matter how much money that we spend, that money would mean nothing if it isn't for the skills, the training, and the experience that the paramedics and the EMTs, district chiefs, and the administration have shown over the years. We've accepted awards, the American Heart Association Award not too long ago, which once again indicates that we have one of the best emergency medical services in the country, supported by the first responder community. So with that being said, with the future of EMS, many of which are within this room, offer my congratulations on both your promotions and the awards that are being handed out today. I'd like to also especially note one of the individuals, the district chief that's receiving the award today. And we came on together back in the 80s. And District Chief Jeff Myers, you're looking good. Our prayers continue to be with you day to day. I know that you've can't wait to get back, and we are looking forward to you coming back as soon as possible. So with that being said, I'd now like to introduce our Mayor, Honorable William Peduto. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Chief, Doc, thank you for your words. Today we have the honor of not only recognizing 3 new careers in 1 promotion, but also those that have gone beyond the call of duty. And it's interesting, I would say, to me. I had the opportunity at 12 noon today to meet with the mayor of Misgal in Israel. And he was in as our sister city to be a part of the memorial that took place on Sunday. And as we were discussing during that meeting, the event of October 27th came within 2 weeks to the day of the 80th anniversary of Kristallnacht, when in Germany, in Austria, and Czechoslovakia, Jews were killed. Businesses' windows were shattered. Synagogues were burned down. And at that time, in those countries, politicians turned their back. Public safety walked away, and community leaders chose to ignore. And that's been pretty much a history within the Jewish community for thousands of years. What happened in Pittsburgh on that day was politicians, Democrat and Republican, stood together. Public safety personnel ran into a building with a person shooting at them. And community leaders said never again. And that's Pittsburgh. And those public safety officials that ran in that building included our medics, who stood shoulder to shoulder with SWAT. They included the medics who showed up for work on their day off, realizing that they needed to be there, not because their job required them or their paycheck, but because they had a commitment to the people that they serve, that they had to be there. And it involved the medics of our suburban communities that realized that every single medic would be needed at that scene. And they came in and they filled our neighborhoods, so our neighborhoods had protection. That is what 4 of you will be doing as your new career. 3 of you being welcomed into the family of Pittsburgh EMS, 1 being promoted into the rank of paramedic. And today we'll also be able to thank those that receive the honors that they are receiving today for that work that they do. May they be the example to you of what you can do in this career. And it's not really a career, it's more of a vocation, because many people wouldn't choose to be with people at their scariest moment, when a loved one is being determined whether they're going to live or die, or going into a building where there's a person that you know has an automatic or semi-automatic weapon, or being able to go to a scene of an accident and put your own life in danger in order to be able to save someone else's. What you've chosen was probably chosen for you a long time ago. What you've chosen is to be able to help people at their darkest hour and to be able to give them a ray of hope that it somehow will be better. And with that, it's now my honor to give to you the oath of office. When you hear your name called, please come up, stand up here. Quinton Gravagna. Michael Janczewski. Michael Limbacher. If you'll please raise your right arm and state after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution and laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the laws and ordinances of the City of Pittsburgh, and obey all orders issued by my superiors, and all the rules and regulations pertaining to and governing the Bureau of Emergency Medical Services, Department of Public Safety, and that as a paramedic, I will well and faithfully discharge and perform all the duties of my office according to the best of my knowledge and ability. Congratulations, medics. It's now my honor to issue the oath of office to one of our EMTs who has been promoted to paramedic. A few years ago, at the advice of the Director of Public Safety, we reinstituted the program of emergency medical technician. The idea was not only to complement our medics in the field, but to provide the opportunity for others to be able to join them, and to be able to join them through merit, through being able to earn the credits that would be necessary and show the work and discipline through the process of being promoted to a full-time Pittsburgh paramedic. Will Lawrence Turner please join me? Mr. Turner, thank you for being an example for other EMTs to know that the Bureau has that possibility of promotion and being able to use it in order to be able to get your education while working full-time. You are an inspiration to other EMTs that look to be able to become a medic. If you'll raise your right hand, state after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution and laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the laws and ordinances of the City of Pittsburgh, and obey all orders issued by my superiors and all the rules and regulations pertaining to and governing the Bureau of Emergency Medical Services, Department of Public Safety, and that as a paramedic, I will well and faithfully discharge and perform all the duties of my office according to the best of my knowledge and ability. Congratulations, medic.
And finally, I would now like to introduce EMS District Chief Mike Rogers, who will present the EMS awards today.
I don't see him in attendance today. Dennis Robinson, could you please approach, please? Dennis Robinson works for the Ballet Academy. He was there one day when we had 4 buses hit each other. We had over 30 patients. He was instrumental in categorizing, containing, arranging for parental notification, and chaperones all to rendezvous at the appropriate hospitals. He helped us make order out of chaos, and for that we'd like to recognize him with a Civilian Service Award. Thank you, Dennis. Next, we'd like to recognize District Chief Jeffrey Meyer with an EMS Cross. This is the highest award given by the Bureau of Emergency Medical Services outside of extraordinary measures. He's being awarded this for his continuous work with the Child Car Seat Safety Program, installing child seats in cars at no cost to the parents, also working to develop protocols and safety standards for transportation of children, even in emergency vehicles. For that, we'd like to recognize you, Jeff Meyer. Thank you. Next, we would we'd like to recognize paramedic Patrick Gilcrest. He's being honored with the Meritorious Service Award. On May 10th, 2018, he was called for a man over a hill who had fallen and had injuries. He was instrumental in finding, accessing him, treating him, and extricating him from a very difficult situation. For that, we'd like to recognize you with the Meritorious Service Award. Thank you, Pat. We'd like to recognize next then Crew Chief, now District Chief Justin Seipel for his efforts on October 31st. He was called for a relatively routine call, found a patient that was mentally unstable as well as medically critical. Through exhaustive efforts, he stayed on scene, was able to find family members to convince this person to go to the hospital they urgently needed. Patient was treated, admitted for several weeks after a long hospital stay, was discharged with no deficits whatsoever. We would like to recognize him with the Medical Director's Award. Thank you, Dr. Next, we'd like to recognize District Chief Antoine Carter. He will be given the Meritorious Service Award on April 17, 2018. While performing his duties, he overheard a call that sounded suspicious to him. He arrived, did exhaustive research, was able to determine that this man, although uninjured and not sick, was a missing person from a neighboring community. He stayed on scene, working with the police, was able to reunite this gentleman with his family. He suffered no ill effects, but due to Chief Carter's service, he was able to get home safely. We're recognizing him with the Meritorious Service Award. Next, we would like to recognize paramedic Michael Bess and Don Williams. They're being recognized with the Meritorious Service Award. On January 25th, 2019, the crew was dispatched for a child trapped under a vehicle. The crew arrived, stabilized the vehicle, preparing for the rescue truck. Paramedic Bess and Williams continued to work with the rescue crew to lift the vehicle off the child while caring for the child. The rescue was done rapidly and while working in an ice-covered parking lot. The child was rescued from under the vehicle and transported to the hospital with only minor injuries. Paramedic Williams and Bass will be given the Meritorious Service Award. At this time, I'd like to thank everybody for their service. This is just a brief glimpse of the incredible work that's done every day. Thank you very much.
And that concludes our ceremony. There will be an opportunity for photographs with the new paramedics, EMT, and the award recipients with the mayor, the director, and the chiefs, and the medical director, of course. And please join us in the main hallway for some light refreshments. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today.